Hello, everyone. When we are free to love anyone we choose, when this world's big enough for all different views, when we all can worship from our own kind of pew, then we shall be free. Garth Brooks. Hello and welcome to Get Real with Shameeza. I'm your host, Shameeza Ali, and it's truly an honor to be here with you this evening. Hope everyone had a relaxing weekend and you're here to have a really good time. You're ready to be empowered, enlightened, and you're truly here to learn and bring awareness. Please take a moment to share this live with your friends and family. I'll give you a few minutes to do that. As we go ahead and take a moment to share the live, I also want to take this opportunity to announce the winners of the Father's Day prizes. For the massager, we have Shariza Loves You. She is the winner of the massager. And for the cricket set, for a father and a child, that goes to Jitnat. Jitnat and Shariza Loves You. Congratulations, you guys are the winners. I thank you for sharing and I appreciate everything that you do. Without further ado, guys, I do want to introduce Damon and George Baksh, my co host for tonight.
Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here. It is such an honor to be on this show, and thank you so much, Shamiza, for bringing this very important topic to your viewers, to the Caribbean, to the United States. Um, as you know, June is Pride Month, and we are celebrating all of our diversity, our identities as Indo Caribbean, gay, and lesbian members of the diaspora. And our struggle in the United States has been ongoing for about 50 years. And we here tonight are members of a very vibrant community. I would like to introduce Mohammed Q. Amin, who is the founder and executive director of the Caribbean Equality Project.
Mohammed, welcome to the show.
Hi, everyone. Thank you for having me.
If
Thank
I
you
may
for
just give
being
you
here.
Sorry, if I may just give you a little bit of information about Mohammed. Mohammed has been an activist and ally to many of the preceding organizations, from Caribbean Pride, Chutney Pride, and in 2015, Mohammed and his siblings and a group of strong supporters started the Caribbean Equality Project, which has grown tremendously in these 6 years. Their programming is amazing. Their social projects reach hundreds of people in all walks of life. And Mohammed, we strongly support you, and I admire you tremendously.
I
Thank you,
truly
Damon.
do too, Mohammed.
Thank you so much. I would love to introduce my colleague at the Caribbean Equality Project. Please join me in welcoming Tiffany Jade Monroe, a native of Guyana, a Black trans woman of immigrant experience. If we can bring her on, that would be amazing.
Yes, I'm sure we can at this time. All right. So at this point, she's not ready. So, oh, okay. Guys, I apologize, but we are having technical difficulties due to the outage. We've had power outage throughout our pre shows. So here we go.
Yes,
Tiffany,
that and oh my
welcome.
gosh. It's so good to talk about the power outage. I'm like, "Arr!" But yes. Hi everyone. As my lovely, uh, amazing uh, Mohammed Amin said, my name is Tiffany Jade Monroe. I am a beautiful trans woman from Guyana, South America.
Wow.
Um,
Guyana in the house, guys. Damon, I know you're from Trinidad, right?
Yes, I am.
Damon, can you give us a little background about yourself?
I'm an educator. I work at the New York City Department of Education as well as the City University of New York. And I have been a part of several organizations as well in the past. In addition to being a resident of New York City and a member of the Caribbean diaspora, um, I have been involved in a variety of different organizations. And um, as we fight for greater equality and recognition, it is quite invigorating, I have to say. And we we've reached a point, as I mentioned earlier, 50 years of the struggle for gay and lesbian rights in America has brought us to a point where we can really look at where we've been and where we're going. Um, I I have been working with a few other organizations, mostly behind the scenes. Um, that suits me well, and I'm just really proud of where we are right now.
Perfect. Well said there, Damon. I know recently, as a matter of fact, over the weekend, most of you, or if not all of you, were part of the Pride Parade in Manhattan. So I think we have a few photos that we want to share. And there we go, guys. There you are, Damon. Is that that's you, right?
Yes,
Perfect.
that was me in the Queer Liberation March with thousands of people walking down Sixth, Seventh Avenue,
Seventh Avenue, right?
maybe Sixth. I don't know.
Seventh. It was seventh.
yes.
Wow.
And that was an important
That that right
sign.
there is a strong message.
Yes, we teach our children not to hate. And as parents, as adults, as members of society, we have such a powerful role in teaching tolerance and inclusion. We have to remember when we came to this country from the Caribbean, we were not readily accepted. My
Yes.
parents and our grandparents who came here before us, they had a very difficult time. They had a big struggle in finding acceptance. Even Richmond Hill, there were very few West Indians originally. 40,
Right.
50 years ago, it was Italian and Irish, and they did not like us moving it. This is a group that was each person was commemorating a trans woman who was killed over the last year or two. So as much as we were protesting, there was a lot of commemoration, a lot of remembrance of members of our community that we've lost, so that we can be reminded of our ongoing work.
And your ongoing struggle, because I know for this year your theme is the fight continues. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
it is. It is. And in in social activism and social justice, every few steps we make in progress, there are struggles. It seems there will be
Right.
factions who feel that some groups don't deserve equality, and we have to keep persisting. We have to keep moving on. And there's a member of CEP in full feather glory.
Yes. Shout
That
out
is
to Sundari,
Sundari,
the
the
Indian
Indian
goddess.
goddess. Yes, thank you, Tiffany. And she's waving the Guyanese flag proudly.
Yes.
And there's Mohammed, um,
Right there.
yes, in the center of the CEP contingent.
Now, Mohammed and Sundri, they're siblings. Is that correct?
Yes, Mohammed and Zaman, the international dancer, whose alter ego is Sundari, the Indian goddess.
Exactly. Now, Mohammed, I know you are the founder of the Caribbean Equality Project. Can you tell us a little bit about why you started that project and, how everything come together for you?
Sure. Thank you again, Shamiza, for that question. I in 2013, my brother and I, friends and family, participated, or at least attended and participated a curry duck competition at Players Bar and Restaurant in Richmond Hill, Queens, and we were invited to be a part of that event, and which turned homophobic very quickly by MC Cabbage. And I specifically name him because he continues to perpetuate hate in Richmond Hill. And the incident that led to the violence started by MC Cabbage. He made an announcement that said the gays are in the building. And it was this time warp. All of a sudden, everything slowed down and all eyes were on us. And there was a TASA group there. And during the judging of the competition, the TASA group started to use Caribbean hate speech. And because we turned around and we respond, it became very aggressive to the point where we were pushed out of the building. The TASA group used their instruments, their drums, to push us out the building. And the trophy that my partner won, second place in the cooking competition, was actually used to hit Zaman on his head. And as you mentioned, Zaman is my brother, my biological brother, who also does drag under the name Sundari, the Indian goddess. And that incident really rocked Richmond Hill. It was the first time that a hate crime incident was reported. Now, I want to really acknowledge that hate crimes have been happening in Richmond Hill for many years. And unfortunately, the survivors of those hate crimes have never formally reported them. And we don't often report hate crimes because of our economic status, our housing status, or for the simple fact we may not be out to our family. And by simply reporting an incident of violence or incidents of hate, it may force us to come out. So for community safety, folks tend to not report violence that they experience in the streets or the bars or even at workplace. But fortunately for Zaman and I, we were both out at the time, and Zaman, who's an activist at the time, felt compelled that we need to speak about this. And I also agreed and I supported Zaman on that decision. And we hosted a peace rally. It was quickly turned into a peace rally versus an anti-hate rally. And I say quickly turned into because many of the supporters that rallied behind us weren't necessarily sure how the NYPD or how the city is going to categorize the incident. And a lot of that is because there were leaders in Richmond Hill that were spreading rumors that we started the violence. And this was a tactic to really bring shame on us. Instead of supporting LGBTQ people that was attacked and we are the survivors, we were actually being shamed. There were community members who were saying that we shouldn't belong there, we have no right to be there. For anyone that's listening here today, let me tell you, queer people, LGBTQ people, trans people belong everywhere. We are fighting for the same rights that many of our cisgender straight people have today. But we as LGBTQ people, particularly those coming from the Caribbean, growing up in the Caribbean, knows that the Caribbean does not respect us for who we are. But we live in New York City, and there's a new generation of LGBTQ people that's rising up and speaking up, and we will not tolerate any type of violence against our bodies anymore, no longer. And because of that incident, in 2015, I founded the Caribbean Equality Project. And it became the first organization to primarily focus on advocacy, immigration resources, emotional support, mental health services, And 6 years later, we have now grown into the only Caribbean LGBTQ educational agency that exists in New York City. For folks who are watching, you can learn more about us. You can simply search Caribbean Equality Project. You'll find all the information. Go to CaribbeanEqualityProject.org. You can also like us and follow us on Facebook and Instagram at Caribbean Equality Project. But I'm also happy to answer any more questions you have about the organizations or programs and additional services that we offer.
Perfect. Damon, I'll let you go ahead and ask another question. Maybe we can have Tiffany take another question or discussion that we would like to continue with.
Sure. Tiffany, you came to the United States in 2019 um, from Guyana, and um, I know your circumstances may have been very challenging. Would you mind telling us some of your experiences and how you came to be a proud member of CEP?
Well, first of all, I'm so sorry just now. Like, I don't know what's really going on with this power outage thing. It's crazy because the screen went pitch black. I was like, what the hell? But anyway, yes. So it was challenging, extremely challenging, especially when you leave the Caribbean, especially Guyana. Guyana is it's I don't even know what to say, but it's a country. I love my country, but I just do not love some of the people in my country. You know, they treated me terribly, and I just wanted to leave and be free. I came here to the USA, and I will tell you, as I have told other people, it's not as you see in the movies. We sit there, we watch these movies, we be like, oh, I want to go to the USA, I want to ride a roller coaster, I want to have my own locker room, but it's not so. And it was super overwhelming for me, navigating, especially by train. Whew. It was a time of confusion, a time of finding who Tiffany is. And you must know that when I came to the USA, I was not Tiffany Jade Monroe. I was actually Dwayne. But then I came to fruition that I need to be who I need to be. And when I did decide to get in contact with Mohammed, it was concerning immigration services because I was here. I didn't know what else to do next. All I knew, I did not want to return back to Guyana. And I found Mohammed's Facebook account, CB's Facebook account actually. I sent them a message and they responded. Mohammed was his words to me is, "Do you know how to use the train?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure I can find my way." Do note, I actually missed like two trains on my way there. I never told him that, but I actually got a little mixed up. But I will never, ever, ever forget it. And Mohammed knows too. We met at Barnes and Noble. Barnes and Noble, I met Mohammed. And I met Mohammed along with a wonderful friend of mine, Stephen. And it was amazing. And I told them like my situation. Mohammed was like, listen, 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 we can help you. What you need to do is write your story. Start writing your story. Start writing whatever you've been through in Guyana, all the pain, all the torture, all the torment. You write it down because once we get these lawyers for you, you're gonna have to produce that story. So it took me a few times to write the story because every time I tried to write it, I started crying. And I wrote my story, and here I am today with CEP as Tiffany Jake Monroe doing uh, actually great. Mohammed had linked me onto so many resources, including hormone therapy for this transition. And I kid you not, like small organizations like CEP really need funding, like they do, because it's so hard. Because all of this work uh, are volunteer-led work, but then again, most of the money comes from GoFundMe's or donation from generous people. And like I know to myself, and CP doesn't even have a physical office, and I know to myself that if CEP gets that funding, amazing work can be done.
Thank you, Tiffany. And you're absolutely right. CEP is transforming lives. And we are recognizing the importance of all lives. Transgender individuals are representations of all of us. We have been born with sometimes a clearly defined gender and feeling of that gender. And then some of our brothers and sisters may have been born into one body, but feel totally different. They may feel like the opposite gender. And I think we are at a place in, at least in American society, where we're beginning to understand much more how that happens. And we're beginning to support our brothers and sisters who need to transition, who will be happiest, who will be great citizens when they're able to match how they feel with their external look. And I know we have a lot of work to do to help our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean and in Africa and in Asia and in South America to get to that point.
Can't hear you. Woo, and there it goes again.
Well, Tiffany keeps getting blackouts because New York City is in a heat wave right now. Today, it hit 104 degrees Fahrenheit. And Con Edison asked everyone to conserve energy by switching off appliances. If you need to have your AC on, switch off other appliances. However, they're rolling blackouts throughout the city. Shameeza, we can't hear you, and I don't think your audience can hear you as well.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Perfect.
Welcome
I
back,
do wanna
Shameeza.
Oh, thank you, Damon. I want to take this comment from Sherry Mohammed. She says no one should discriminate anybody because of their gender. I believe we're all human beings. No one deserves to be treated less than other. Thank you for that comment, Sherry. Again, guys, I do want to uh, remind my viewers that we are talking to members of the LGBTQ community tonight, and we are observing Pride Month. It is the last day of the month now. I know for all of you guys, today being tomorrow being the last day of Pride Month, you guys had several activities during the month, and you observed a lot of different things. You were part last week. I know you had a very Damon. You want to tell us a little bit about that fun event that you had last week?
Yes, CEP celebrated Pride Month with a 2-day virtual celebration that spanned Toronto and New York, and um, amazing performers and very enlightening forum that dealt with the movement, where it is today, where it's going, how identities are emerging and changing and strengthening, and using the resources. And I think Mohammed is becoming the king of resources.
Absolutely.
Through his leadership of CEP, he's realizing that he has that capacity to pull it all together for so many people. And so the virtual Pride celebration was really spectacular. I enjoyed myself tuning in and feeling. I learned a lot. I laughed a lot. I cried a lot. There were some really touching moments, some stories that were shared, some very powerful individuals that remind us of our own power. And this is what the Pride celebrations are about. This is what it's about power at the end of the day. Mohammed, how are you accessing this power for yourself and for your constituents?
Yeah, Damon, that's a really great question. I think power is community. Power looks differently for a lot of people. And for us at Caribbean Equality Project, we create spaces where community members could harness their own power and tell their own stories, right? Oftentimes we hear about LGBTQ stories from from journalists or from an interviewer, or for someone like Shameeza who's hosting a program. But what is unique about the work that the Caribbean Equality Project does is we build our community members' leadership so they can tell their own stories. And that's exactly what we did with Live Pridefully. We were able to curate over 20 different artists, academics, performers, speakers, storytellers, from all different spectrum of the LGBTQ community, that really focused on their talent, but also the intersectionality of their queerness and Caribbeanness. And we did this through a 2 night virtual Pride event. We were able to work with The World is Rich and Extreme Sounds Production, where we were able to stream both the event both nights, but also really record high quality videos of our talented LGBTQ community members. And oftentimes, in a Caribbean context, very few spaces exist for LGBTQ artists, right? And I know Zaman, who, as I mentioned earlier, International Zaman is my brother. He speaks about being an openly queer artist and how difficult it is to be respected, get respect, and even get an opportunity to showcase your talent. And that speaks to the level of homophobia that still exists within the Caribbean community. And even right here in New York City, right here in Little Guyana, I happen to live in Little Guyana, and I tell people all the time I love my community. I've been living in my community for over 15 years, but it is still very homophobic. And for anybody that wants to challenge me, you go and ask any queer or trans person when they walk the streets of Liberty what their experiences are, right? It includes street harassment, it includes taunting, it includes Caribbean hate slurs. When queer and trans people are experiencing that, that's not a safe community, right? But we exist and we have to coexist and we have to live here. So the work that the Caribbean Equality Project does is to also combat that type of street violence and hate violence that many of us still experience, I should say. And Tiffany Monroe is an example, a really proud example of the work that the Caribbean Equality Project is doing, from coming here from Guyana, from escaping violence to being abandoned by her family, right? When in America, when we talk about family separation, oftentimes we talk about the borders. But when I speak about family separation, I talk about family abandonment. But for many queer and trans Caribbean people, we get abandoned by our family, or we are often forced to not come out, and we're forced to suffer in silence because we have to make sure we keep a roof over our head, or we have to make sure that our mom and dad won't inflict any type of violence on us, or we have to make sure that the car they gave us, they're not going to take it away if we come out as gay, or if we come out as bi, if we come out as lesbian, or if we come out as trans, right? We have to make sure the schools we're in, if our parents are paying for it, that if we do come out as an LGBTQ person, they won't take away that financial sustainability, which can harm our educational journeys, right? So when we talk about the work that Caribbean Equality Project is doing, it focuses on all of these intersectional issues that LGBTQ Caribbean people are facing. And, I have to say, it takes programs like this. So, Shamiza, I really do applaud you for wanting to have a conversation around LGBTQ identities and focusing on the different spectrum of LGBTQ people, right? We have three queer and trans people that are on this call today that are on different journeys in life, right? We are of different socioeconomic backgrounds. We are of different educational backgrounds. We are of different working class. We are of different racial and cultural backgrounds as well. So we actually really represent a small population of our community where we have someone who is a teacher, right? Damon is an educator, a professor, right? But it's also a queer person. I was in banking for over 14 years, and I left banking to focus on Caribbean Equality Project to build this organization that I believe in. And Tiffany is now on her journey of education and sustaining herself in New York City. So we are all immigrants, but our journeys are very different. But some of our experiences have actually been very similar. So, one of the things that community members who are interested in learning how to be an ally. I talk about allyship a lot when it comes to the LGBTQ community because it takes someone like you, Shamiza, whose last name is Ali, to be an ally to the LGBTQ community, right? And it simply means that creating space for us to tell our stories and our experiences. It means that when we're not physically present, if someone is using homophobic and transphobic language as an ally to our community, it is your responsibility. And I say responsibility because that's what it comes down to, right? We expect our allies to step up and show up for us when we're not physically present. And that's what allyship looks like speak for us when we're not there, but also protect us when we are physically present and might be in danger.
Thank you, Mohammed. One of the things putting this show together that I wanted to really do without even knowing that there was going to be a show is bring awareness to the community about this specific community, because I have a lot of people uh, close to me, family members, who has called me and said to me, Shamiza, my daughter has said that she's not attracted to boys. She's attracted to girls. What do I do? How do I deal with her father? And that, I still am hoping to find the right answer. There is no right or wrong answer as to who you are. You should be who you are. And today, in front of everyone, if you don't feel that you're in the right body, don't ever stop at that. Keep asking questions, because we all have a right to find out who we are, who we're meant to be. And there should be no stopping because society does not want us to be who we're meant to be. So, with that said, Mohammed, can you tell us a little bit about, speaking of immigrants, we're all immigrants here in this country on the show right now. Can you tell us a little bit about the asylum process?
Sure. Before I speak about asylum, I'm actually going to have Tiffany talk about her journey. But I just want to respond to the comments around your friend. You know, support exists in New York City for Caribbean LGBTQ people, right? We have a support group called Unchained. Prior to the pandemic, we used to meet right at the Leffers Library, the Queen's Library at the corner of Little Guyana and Leffers Boulevard.
Yes.
We used to meet there every single month, the first Monday of every month, and it's a welcoming space for allies, but it's also focused on LGBTQ people, even folks who might be questioning their orientation, right, or questioning the feelings and the attraction and the emotions that they're going through, and they want to unpack it. So if anyone should ever come to you and say, listen, my child is experiencing these things, she, he, they are seeing these things, I from today forward, I would love for you to say, you know what, there's this amazing organization called Caribbean Equality Project. Contact them. They have a support group. They provide free mental health counseling, one-on-one mental health counseling. They provide referrals to immigration services, right? They provide a space for queer artists to thrive and develop their talent. And they provide a space for parents to talk about what this experience is like being or having a queer child and loving a queer child. And I always say to parents, whenever parents come to me and say, how does your mom and dad do it? And I say, easy. They brought us into this world and they will love us until we leave this world. Right. And
Yes.
my message to parents has always been simple, right? Love your child no matter what. Right. And especially when it comes to being LGBTQ, right? If you have a child that's LGBTQ, you love and protect that child, because when they leave your home, the dangers that they're going to experience are going to be 10 times than what you could have prevented, right? You could have, and I say that with so much like frustration, because right now in New York City, they are homeless Caribbean, Guyanese, Trinidadian, Indo Caribbean, LGBTQ people in New York City. They are living in the shelter system, and during the pandemic, right, many of us have been talking about, food insecurity, and Caribbean Equality Project has been responding to the food insecurity in New York City as well, particularly in Southeast Queens and Flatbush, Brooklyn. But within that, we have seen homeless LGBTQ Guyanese, Trinidadians, Jamaicans that have been kicked out of their homes or that have come to this country for support and have ended up in the shelter system, right? So when we talk about on a national level, on a state level, on a city level, when we talk about homelessness, when we talk about the homeless crisis, when we talk about the immigration crisis, we're talking about our own people. And we can no longer turn a blind eye to the issues that are impacting our communities. And all of it starts at home. It starts with you kicking out your child because of who they love and who they are and how they want to express themselves. And for parents that are watching here today, think about that. You, as a parent, is responsible for the harm and danger that your child, the person you brought into this world, is going to face, right? And I often say, before you harm your child, reach out for support, right? Reach out to organizations for support, because support does exist, but it takes courage and it takes bravery and it takes strength and vulnerability to say that I want to love my child for who they are, but I don't know how to do that yet and I need support. And reach out to the Caribbean Equality Project. We will guide you along the way. In terms of immigration, in terms of asylum, we do a lot of work, primarily to protect folks that are coming to this country, folks that have been abandoned by their families in places like Guyana and Trinidad and Jamaica and Barbados. And these are the folks that are living in the shelter system, because when they get on that plane, first of all, folks struggle to get a visa, right? They struggle to get a visa. They struggle to save money to get here. And when they get here, they couch surf. And for folks who don't know what that term means, it means living on somebody's couch until they kick you out, right? That's exactly what LGBTQ immigrants are doing. Young people, older folks, middle-aged folks are doing, because they cannot be safe in their country, right? And if they cannot find another couch to live on for a few weeks, they end up in the homeless. They end up homeless and then into the shelter system. And they contact us for referrals. And unfortunately, for us as an organization, we don't have the direct services to house people, right? So we have to refer community members to the nearest shelter, depending on who they are. But Tiffany Monroe is someone who experienced homelessness, right? Because she was abandoned by her family in Guyana and came here and then also experienced transphobia from her own family. And her asylum process has been it's been a journey for her. And Tiffany, I would love for you to talk about it, because I don't want to talk about your story already here.
Yes. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yes.
Awesome. Oh my gosh, this power outage brings me back to Guyana. I'm like, what is happening? But yes, um, as you said, Mohammed, you want me to share my story, and what Mohammed said, it's so true. Like, many people have no idea that uh, they expect you come here, and it's something with Guyanese. I don't know. It's something. There's some Guyanese people where you would tell them, "Oh, I'm coming to visit," and they would say, "Oh, come, we'll house you." And then when you get here, they don't answer their phones, and that's messed up. But it's similar with asylees or people that are here waiting on an answer from the government, and it's a long process. And some of us think that we come here and bam, that's it. But no, like, I had to experience transphobia when I was finding myself, finding my identity, finding who I was. I experienced transphobia to the maximum. And I felt so terrible about myself, because you say that you love me, you okay if I was gay, but you're not okay with the whole trans thing. Like, what is the difference? And the constant attacks was intense and still is intense. For people you love, people you thought would have been different from your family in Guyana, and it was heartbreaking to a point where my own cousin told me that, oh, he doesn't want a faggot to be walking next to him, and I was like, what? And do know that we have a relative in our family that's a part of the LGBT community. She's a lesbian, and he's saying that it's different. Like, what is the difference? What is the difference? And I was heartbroken. I cried many days, many nights. I called Mohammed. I was like, Mohammed, I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. I kid you not, my only option was to walk down to the train station and jump in front of those tracks because I couldn't. I couldn't. Whether it's the transphobia that you face at home and then the long wait for you to actually get documentation to work, documentation to say, hey, I finally got my green card, I can do something. Like the process is a long one. You get there, you file for first of all, finding a lawyer is a process. And Mohammed, when I reached out to Mohammed sent me to a law firm, and the guy told me back point blank. He said that oh, he's full, his quote is full, and he can't take any more cases, and I would have to wait, or he sent me like a list of organizations I could contact, and I called Mohammed and was like, Mohammed, what to do? He's like, Mohammed said, girl, you should start calling these places, and I called those places, and thank thank the heavens that I got onto immigration equality. And immigration equality set me up with Sullivan and Cromwell, who's my law firm that is dealing with my case. And little did I know that Sullivan and Cromwell is actually one of the top law firms in New York City. And I had no idea. And Mohammed told me, Mohammed said, you are so lucky because they have sent cases to immigration equality, and they told CP that they cannot take the cases because they are full. And I was really, really lucky for them to accept me and find a lawyer for me. But the process, that it just didn't stop there. You found the lawyer, you get some type of relief, but it's still excuse me, it's still not a relief for you to relax. You're still like on your edge, on your toes. Ice is still going around, and it's still crazy because I'm still here waiting. I did my biometrics. I'm just waiting on an interview, and I don't even know when I'm going to get that interview. And I've spoken to people that have been here 10 years and have done asylum, and they are still waiting for their interview as well. And trust me, I told Mohammed, I said, there's many days hopelessness creeps in, depression creeps in, and CEP is actually keeping me together, or else I would have been a broken glass, shattered
Wow.
all over the place.
Thank you, Tiffany, for sharing that with us. And guys, let's send these guys some love. Let me see some hearts in the comments for sharing their stories and their journey here with us tonight. It takes a lot of bravery. It takes a lot of things to be here for them to share their stories with us. So I would love for you guys to send us some love. Let me see some love in that comment. And, I thank you guys. Now, I've heard about your struggles getting here. I've heard about where you guys are at right now. How do we move forward? How as a society we all move forward in a world where we can all be free to be who we are and really coexist with each other? How do we do that? Thank you. Thank you guys for the hearts.
There,
I I, I wanna respond to that really quickly. I think it's a really great question, right? Moving forward is a for LGBTQ folks, moving forward, it's not something that we think about, right? We think about sustainability. We think about housing sustainability, job employment, job sustainability, healthcare, immigration services. And Tiffany mentioned earlier about the process it takes to be an asylee in America. And a lot of that starts with the people we elect in government. It starts with our local city government, it starts with our state government, and it starts with our federal government. And the reason why Tiffany is still waiting for an interview is because this country had a president that blocked immigration, right? It forced the former president of this country cut off all immigration services during a pandemic. During a pandemic, the former president of this country cut off immigration services and was attempting to restructure asylum and how refugees and how LGBTQ people and people that experience violence, including women who experience gender based violence, people who are HIV positive, who are seeking asylum to come to this country, that government stopped the process from happening. So voting, civic engagement is so important, right? We get to elect people who will stand by all of us, right? We cannot say that I need to elect somebody that will stand by my own economic needs, but call yourself an ally to the LGBT community when you are voting to elect somebody that will take the rights away from LGBTQ people. And when we talk about LGBTQ, we're talking about queer people, we're talking about trans people, we're talking about queer women, we're talking about trans men, we're talking about every single identity under the LGBTQ spectrum. Right? So you cannot want to vote for somebody who will take those rights away from us or who will prevent us from advancing LGBTQ rights, but also call yourself an ally. And I want to say that intentionally because oftentimes within our Guyanese, within our Indo-Caribbean community, folks will say, I'm an ally to the LGBTQ community, but behind closed doors, they vote to elect people that will take our rights away. And if no one has ever told you, let me tell you today, that's not called allyship, right? That is hypocrisy. You cannot vote to take our rights away, but then want to call yourself an ally to our community or want to tokenize us and say, come and perform for my event. We love LGBTQ people, and then go behind the scenes and vote to take our rights away, right? Or want to take a photo with us and say, oh my God, look, I'm friends with Muhammad. He's a gay person. I have gay friends. No, what you're doing is tokenizing, and that's called performativity, where you're literally tokenizing queer people to present yourself as an ally. That's not called allyship. So, how we move forward, we need to educate ourselves on the laws of these countries. We need to make sure we stand up for Black lives. We stand up for Asian folks. We need to make sure we stand up for LGBTQ people. And if we don't know how to do that, moving forward starts with education, right? Make sure you educate yourself, educate your auntie, your uncle, your aji, everybody else in your family, and do not prevent young people, do not prevent your children from advancing their own education. And when they come to you and when they correct you, listen. I always say, in many ways, my brother and I and my siblings have become educators for our parents, right? Because we've had to struggle with our own family members, with our own parents. We've had to educate our parents on how to love their children, right? And we also have to educate them about the language that they use. And oftentimes in Caribbean culture, we jokingly throw around the words like auntie man and batibai and all these things, right? Or stop acting like a girl. Why are you telling people? Why are you telling your children that who they are is wrong? You are conditioning them to hate themselves. And we grow up, right? We grow up hearing that who we are is a sin or who we are is an abomination. We grow up hearing from faith leaders within our own Richmond Hill community that will preach against LGBTQ people. And these are the things that we have to address. And in order for us to move forward, we cannot move forward without accountability. We cannot move forward without justice, right? We have to think about what accountability looks like. We have to think about what transformative justice looks like. We have to think about what healing looks like. And all of that starts with education, understanding, and a conversation with each other.
I agree with you, Mohammed. I exceptional, guys. I thank you for being here this evening. I thank you for sharing your journey, and I thank you for doing what you do every day, living among us and coexisting. My pledge to you is to always be here. If you guys need to send a message out there, you always have a place that you can come and you can send that message. My Get Real with Shamiza will always be open. I will be your ally. So count me in. And there is a lot that I need to learn, and there is a lot that I need to know. And I look to you guys. Damon, you've been an exceptional support for me over the weeks, getting to know you and getting to learn about everything. You shared a lot. Mohammed, you as well. So I thank you guys for being here this evening and sharing your journey. I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Have a great evening and continue the great work.
Thank
Thank
you
you for
so
having
much.
us. Take care.
We
Happy
lo-
Pride, everyone.
I love your eyeshadow. Oh my
Oh,
god.
thank you.
Word.
Thank
And
you. Thank
I
you.
just want to say thank you to Christine Lachana. She has always been an amazing supporter. Thank you to all of your viewers for the love. And it's really about love. The more love we have, the more peace we will have. The more love and peace we have, the happier we will all be. And again, thank you.
Perfectly said there, Damon. Tiffany, thank you. Thank you, Mohammed. Bye bye, Damon. So, my next guest is, I will get her information right off. My musical guest tonight, she is beautiful, she's talented, and she has an angelic voice. She is the winner of Emerging Voices Season 2. Please welcome Savita Singh. Savita, welcome to the show. I guess we lost Savita there for a moment, guys. Do we have my co host, George Baksh?
Hey,
Hey,
Sha.
George. Welcome. How are you?
I'm good. I was watching the whole thing. I mean, these guys are, they're pretty good. They shouldn't be judged. This is the thing that we always want to fight for. You'll have to live out the box. I mean, even for our culture, there's some stuff they locked in the box. You have to. They're human being, just like everyone. You know, um, and they just you know their stories, they're different in their ways of what they like and what they but if they're behind the counter and they're doing something for you, I think they will do a good job just as a regular person. So people should respect them. I mean, our culture, the stigma many years ago, because I asked the question to my mother one day and I got really not good answers, you know but she doesn't know. So like they said, we have to educate our parents, because if I have a kid and I gotta love her, what are you gonna do, throw her away? You can't.
No, I think more and more we have to learn. I think educating ourselves and really bringing awareness, and that's part of what I'm trying to do here on Get Real with Shamiza. Is I'm trying to bring awareness to our community, because I feel there is a stigma, there is something there that we're not educated enough, or we're not there is not enough places for us to learn about these things. So we need to bring awareness, and that's what I wanted to do before I there was even the Get Real with Shamiz. I was hoping to bring awareness to subjects like this in our community, and I'm happy today is one of the best days of my life, because I'm able to bring awareness to such a very special topic to my heart. So
Yeah.
I thank you guys. I thank you for your respect. I thank you for everything, all the love that you've been sending to these guys. Thank you so much. Thank you to Christine. Uh, I believe Savita is back. Arel says, George, what happened? He missed your output.
He does.
Yes.
Well,
Are you?
yeah, I didn't get to come in. As if I'm in the back page, but it was okay. I mean, I listened. I mean, I have my questions, but they kind of pretty answer all the questions I was going to ask them. It's just the people that see them and taunt them and call them names. They're human being. We live in a country that's many different kind of cultures, so people should understand that. And once people get to educate themselves to know what's going on, they probably will change. I hope there's a little change. And it's not only for the LGBTQ community, even for our own culture. They kind of sometimes don't understand the regular life that we live right now. People don't understand. It's hard for them to catch up to the American life. So we have to educate the older folks or the new folks that don't understand it.
Perfect. Uh, so, George, we have 4th of July coming up. Do you have plans for the weekend?
Well, I'm a firework by myself, so
Oh,
I mean,
could
not
you share
really.
with us when you say firework, what you mean?
No, I'm actually cool down. I'm working on this motorcycle that I'm building, so I've been working hard on it. So I probably be working on the motorcycle this weekend.
Well, you have to show us that motorcycle after
Yeah,
you're
yeah, it's
done with it.
awesome. You know, it's
Do
coming
you
out.
have anything planned in terms of jumping out of airplanes or any of those things for 4th of July?
Not. I'm actually going for a ride because I have more than one bike, so I'm taking out the. I call them the beast. I'm gonna take her out for a ride. Not
Wow.
jumping out of a plane lately. I'm far. I want to do the building, but it's Vegas. So
Building. Okay.
yeah, Las Vegas. Maybe you should come with me.
We'll see about that. We have Christine Lachana. She says CP came a very long way from 10 years ago when I started to advocate for them and the rest of the LGBTQ community. We even marched a few years together for AIDS Walk, where we raised thousands for the charity. Thank you, Christine. Christine is very active in our community. She's been around. I've had the privilege of knowing Christine for quite some time now, and she is definitely one of those people that I truly admire. I love having her as my friend. Christine, thank you for everything that you do. Tausif is asking, George, is it a Harley?
Yeah, I have a Harley and a job bike, so I have two bikes.
Sherry says George cannot stay put, Sham. Errol, he says that's not fair. There are people, my family, my friends don't ever discriminate.
Yeah, they shouldn't.
All right, guys. So I am going to introduce Savita again, just in case you guys didn't hear. She is beautiful, she is talented, and she has an angelic voice. She is the winner of the Emerging Voices Season 2, which was in Guyana about 5 years ago. Please welcome Savita Singh. Hey, Savita, how are you?
Hi, Shameeza. I am fine, thank you. And you?
I am doing great, Savita, and it's so good to have you here tonight. So tell us, what are you up to?
Well, I've been up to a lot actually. As we all know, our artists, the music industry has been hit really hard with this pandemic. However, I can say with much joy that not even a pandemic can stop the music.
Absolutely, I will agree with you.
Yeah, I've had 7 releases last year. Together with 3 music videos, which was just released my Raja video, and
Oh, yeah.
I have a lot more in store. So I took the downtime, Shamiza, to really do all the things that I wanted to do, to put together all the things that I would not have had the time to. And now I feel fulfilled, and I feel like, yeah, I did it. So
Wow. Now, Savita, I know that you are from Trinidad and Tobago, and I see the flags coming up here in the comments. Thank you, Ramona Ramdeen. I see the flags, I see the love. Uh, can you tell us a little bit about your upbringing?
well, it's that's not gonna be a little bit, Shamiza. It's gonna be a whole lot.
we,
But
we
I'm gonna
have
try to
time
not.
here at Get Real with Shabiza. We have time, girl.
I'm gonna try to not shell it for you.
Yeah, please.
So, what I can tell you is that I've been singing since I was 8 years old. At the tender age of 8 years old, I started off in classical singing. I won 3 consecutive years for my school. So I was very little with probably no teeth, or the teeth that it had was probably rotten. And I was starring and receiving trophies at that age. And, that really gave me an inspiration that, hey, there is something bigger to come from you, Savita. Or there is a
Yeah.
space for you in, in, in inspiring others through music. So, my father was like the main head behind my musical career. He passed on 13 years ago. And ever
Sorry to
since he
hear that.
passed, I said to myself that I'm never going to stop doing music, because he really wanted to see me further, and he was really one of my biggest supporters. Um, so then after school competitions, I ventured off into bands. One of my very first bands would have been KI and the band, which was then JMC Treveni, and I still am a part. I'm proud to say that I'm still a part of KI and the band.
Yeah.
However, I pursued about 10 to 11 years ago, I started to pursue a solo career, which I still do pursue. But KI and the band is like a home band to me. They're like my brothers. Cappy is like a father to me. And it's like home with that band. So I cannot just turn my back on them. However, I do pursue a solo career. And here I
Well,
am today, you know.
so we have Ki here. Ki, it's funny that you said he's like a brother because he says, "Look, Savita, my sister," and also you mentioned that you started when you had no teeth. And I remember when Ki was on a couple of weeks ago, someone said he won the competition. I think the one that he won in Trinidad, is it Rising Stars?
I think it's
When he was
Masana Bahar.
Masana Bahar, I remember it saying someone saying that Ki had no teeth and winning the competition as well. So I guess you guys started around the same time, right? Losing
Yeah,
your teeth
we're
or like,
actually the same age. So
well, perfect. So speaking, I know you have a musical. You spoke of your dad. I know you have a family of musical background as well, right?
yeah, I do. I do come from a musical background. My dad was a singer. My grandparents, my aunts, my uncles, yeah, they were all singers. So I think music is in my blood. Music is in my vein, kind of thing. So it's never gonna leave me, even
So
if I try.
you actually won Emerging Voices competition in Guyana 4 years ago. Was it 4 or 5 years
Yeah,
ago?
that was in 2017, 4 years ago.
Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, that was a rough one because I would have gone in on the eighth episode. So they would have had contestants contesting for 7 episodes before me. And they would
Right,
have had an eliminating process where, they would have started with 100 people, and then the finals was down to 3 people, myself included, and two
wow.
other very fantastic singers, of course, local to Guyana. um that was really tough going in because when they brought me on stage, a lot of the artists, the contestants felt like it was unfair, but I think the judges had they understood why they did it like that. I guess they didn't want everybody to be comfortable and come out of their comfort zone, and they wanted
Right,
everybody to, rise to the competition where it was heading, because it was a really really tough competition for me. It was a competition where I thought I put myself to a test,
right,
because they would give you songs that we chose none of our songs. The judges would give you a song today and you would have never heard that song, never ever thought you would have even ventured into singing that song, and there you had to go sing that song and compete and be judged. So it was really really hard for me. I had songs where I begged, I cried, I was like, please change this song, I cannot do this song. But Shamiza, with hard work, I think comes success.
now
So
you didn't
yes.
only go on to win the competition starting off as a wild card, but you had one of the toughest judges, Nival.
Yes, he was one of
Nival,
he was the first
he was.
first judge to judge me on when I now entered. Yes, so Nival
What was
is,
Naval is from Trinidad as well, right?
yes, yes, he
So you're
is.
here. You are in competition in Guyana with these Guyanese or contestants, and you have one of your own from Trinidad, and he's tough on you. How did
Yeah.
that help you to get through the competition?
I guess it was a mindset where, hey, even if it's Nival, I wasn't seeing Nival. Even if it's Nival, I didn't know Nival. So I
Right.
took it as, you know this is not the Nival, and whatever he said to me. And Nival is a person like that. He's very real, because
Yeah.
we are part of the band together. We are very good friends. In fact, earlier today I spoke to Nival, and he's a person like that. He's very real, and I appreciate that about him. So whatever criticism I got from him, I knew it would have been real, and I knew it would have been something to take forward with me. Yeah.
Perfect. Now I want to ask you, what so far in music, right? What has surprised you about music so far?
Music is so impactful. Music,
Yes.
music has shaped who I am today and who I want to become. Music has made me a very emotive person, and all these things surprise me about music. It makes me look at the world different. It makes me it triggers so many memories, and it takes you back to that specific moment in your life so many years ago. Music
Yeah.
could take you and make you feel that you are there, and you are experiencing that feeling. So I think all these things about music makes surprises me each and every time. When I hear a song, I can feel how I could remember when my dad was alive and he was actually playing the radio, and I could experience that feeling. And I
Yeah.
think that's so amazing. Music does that
Definitely.
to us.
It does it to all of us. It's worldwide. No matter who you are, where you're from, or how you are, music does something to all of us.
Yes.
So, if when I was starting this show, I looked around, I did my little homework, and I said, if I'm going to bring music to this show, it had to be talents. It had to be people who had a talent. And I'm so happy that I'm able to bring people like you and Ranjiv and Anil and Ran all these guys, JP and there were so many guys on the show. You're actually one of the first females that I've had on the show so far. So I thank you for being here and for really being. I'm very privileged to. I feel like I've gotten one of the best to be the first female here on this show. So I thank you for that. George, you have a question?
Yeah. So my question is, do you write your own songs?
I did write one song that was Chutney Baby.
Mhm.
Um, However, and now this is a personal feeling. Please don't discriminate me. Anyone who's listening for it.
Don't
I just
discriminate,
think
guys.
that I just think that people are attracted to lyrics that are not my style. That's the best way I
So,
can put it.
so give us a
So,
taste of music that you wrote.
okay, so the chorus of what I wrote was hold me round my waist, take me to that place. Move your body slow, let the passion grow. Take off the light, come and hold me tight. Come, let
Oh
me
my.
be your chutney baby tonight.
What
Wow.
is wrong with that?
Let's see some
That's
love for
great.
Savita.
Yeah,
I love that. I mean,
And it's in
George,
English. I love
yeah,
it.
guys,
yes.
let's see some love here. Come on, guys. Let's get some love. Let's get some fire, heart, whatever you guys like. But we need some love for Savita because that
Yeah.
was just incredible, Savita. Uh,
Thank you, thank
you
you.
know, I do want to. With that said, I want to go into one of the little games that we play here at Get Real with Shameeza. It's called 6 and 60. Basically, what we do is we ask 6 questions in 60 seconds. I have to get a timer ready for that. And once I have that, you tell me that you're ready. Here we go. We see lots of fire, love. Here we go, guys. Thank you. You guys can do better than that. I want to see some more of those. Um so are you ready, Savita?
I think so. Let's go.
Perfect. So I'll start the timer and here we go. Who is your favorite Bollywood actress?
Kajal.
Kajal. Great choice. Who's your favorite chutney singer?
Oh.
I put
It would be Jamir Hussain. He's passed,
Jameer
but
Hussein.
yeah.
Can you name a country that starts with the letter S?
S. South Africa.
South Africa. Well said. Netflix and chill or wine and spill?
Netflix and chill.
Your favorite meal of the day?
Lunch, which is dal, rice, and bhaji.
Perfect. Phone, text, or email?
Sorry?
Phone, text, or email? Which one do you prefer?
Phone.
Phone. Perfect. You know what? You did better than your brother Ki. You finished with 7 seconds to go there. So great job. So you prefer a phone?
Yeah, yeah. I
Perfect.
prefer. When we say phone, we mean a phone call, right?
A phone call,
Yeah.
right? Rather than a
Yeah.
text message or an email.
Yeah, that's gonna get lost in my phone. So
Guys,
call me when it's important.
you just heard from the amazing Savita. She said that she prefers a phone call. Her favorite Bollywood actress is Kajal, one of my favorites as well. And there is a lot of things there. Can you tell us a little bit about your favorite chutney singer?
Ramdeo Chaitu. I like he's like a local classical singer.
Yeah.
He has some of the really nice songs with the dholak, the dantal, and every time I'm hanging out or we're partying, we have to have his song playing. And one of my favorite songs from him is Sawalia. So if you don't know Shamiza, you can go type that up and trust me, yeah, you're gonna
Yeah.
move. You're gonna
Now-
wanna move.
Do you know it?
No, I don't know to sing it,
No.
but it's really nice.
I would definitely check it out. One of the things that I pride myself with, and as a host of this show, I went from being a financial advisor where I deal with finances to now dealing with Googling people all the time. My job right now is just to Google. I hear the word Savita Singh. I'm like, Google, tell me about Savita Singh. So I'm actually having fun doing it. It keeps me up until 3 a.m., 4 a.m. in the morning, finding out stuff because there's so much stuff. And I want to make sure when I ask questions and when I get to know you, I know everything about you, the important information and whatever, is important and things that I need to bring awareness to. So, with that said, Savita, um, if you could have lunch tomorrow, because today lunch is passed here in, I know you're in a different part of the country right now. If you could have lunch with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be? Who would it be? We can't hear you. With yourself.
Her dad.
Okay. Her
Her dad.
dad.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, I think we lost the audio for Savita. Can you hear us, Savita?
Yeah, we can't hear the audio.
I think you're muted.
Did you press the button? Did you touch anything? The phones are dangerous.
She can hear us for sure.
I think Google did it to you. Just press
All right.
another button.
We're probably Savita. Can
Let's
you
get
try to
started.
sign out and sign back in?
Yeah.
Perfect. Wow, she is just incredible, and it looks like our viewers are enjoying
Enjoying
watching her too. They actually found the answer. It's her dad.
Yeah.
She is truly a beautiful young woman, and I'm hoping that we can get her back in a little bit. George, last week we had Tausif. And,
Oh,
hey, can you hear us?
I can. I'm
Perfect.
just hearing you.
okay. What
Oh,
happened?
yeah, we can hear you now too.
Mhm.
I don't know.
You see, the phones are too smart now. They hear stuff. They're like, they hear she got to sing, so they're like, let's go. Blank.
I think so, yeah.
So, Savita, you said that you will have lunch with your dad. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And what would you discuss at lunch?
I wouldn't discuss. I would play all the music for him that he didn't get to hear.
Wow.
Because my first recording was Akia Milake with the Gayatoons band. And that was the only recording he got to hear. And he would play that every day. And when people come, he would be like, that's my daughter, you know. That's Salvi, you know. Because Salvi, he used to call me Salvi. That's Salvi singing, you know. And, you know, these memories are, you know, I can imagine what he would be like today if he was here and he would hear all these music that I have recorded.
And your music has definitely been a special type of music. You have brought back some old Bollywood music, Omere Sona.
Yeah, yeah.
What inspired you to bring music like this back to us? And, what is the process like for you bringing music like this back to us
Well,
in your own version of it?
well, one reason being, Sonare has been a part of my repertoire. So when I go out to sing, um, it was a song that I would always perform. So it was a song that I would see people loving. I would see people dancing to it when I sing it. It's a song that has to be on my repertoire. If I go somewhere to sing for 2 hours, 1 hour, 45 minutes, Sonare would have been a song. Even before I recorded it, it would have been a part of my repertoire. So it was a song that I know people would love. One. Two, I feel like I was born in the wrong era because I love most of the older songs. But I think I understand why, because my father, of course, growing up, he would be playing the radio and all these old songs, Pyar Kanagama, Sagar Kinare, Ikadin, all these songs would be playing, and it would have been embedded in me since small. So I understand why I like the older music. So yeah, that is why, that is how comes Sonari. And then I wanted to put a twist to it. Yes. And that is how I incorporated Raquel with me and the English part. Yes. To you know, it has changed up a little bit.
I'm going to pretend like I have no idea, because it looks like you've always done it. And so you cannot be here tonight and not do it for us. I've been sharing your music on my Facebook page, and so I think a lot of people are here for you tonight to really get to hear those songs. So if you can give us a little bit of it in your own,
Let me try to pull it up here and let me try to sing along with it. Unless you want me to sing without it.
Whatever works for you, sweetheart.
It really doesn't matter to me. Hold on. Let me try to get it. Yeah. Tell me if you can hear. If you cannot hear, then we will just do it live.
You do that. While you're doing that, I'll get the audience to send some love for you.
No more hiding who I am.
Tell me if you can hear properly. Can you hear
you? I can hear you.
Yeah.
So I'll just sing along.
Yeah. There we go. There we go.
दे दूंगी जान जुदा मत होना रे मैंने तुझे बड़ी देर में जाना हुआ कसूर खफा मत होना रे मैंने तुझे बड़ी देर में जाना हुआ कसूर खफा मत होना रे ओ मेरे सोना रे सोना रे सोना Big up to Raquel.
I know.
मेरी बाहों से निकल के तू अगर मेरे रास्ते से हट जाएगा तो लहरा के उबल खा के मेरा साया तेरी तन से लिपट जाएगा तुम चुराओ लाख दावा चोरते हैं बड़ी देर में जाना कसूर खपा मत होना रे मेरे सोना रे सोना रे सोना.
Yes.
Awesome.
Wow. Wow. George, you do remember this, right?
I do. But me with the
Savita, I see flags from Trinidad and Tobago. I see Guyana. I see fire emojis. I just see love right now.
Great,
So
great,
thank
great.
you
Thank you
for
guys
that.
so very much.
George, you have a question for Savita?
Yeah. What would be your advice for a young girl, that's coming up, that's singing, being in the music industry? What would be your advice?
And you're specifically asking for a girl.
Well, the guys, we already, there's young girls that can sing. It's kind of, I don't know what will be in the environment for them. I don't know.
You
And
know, what I can say is what I've learned and what I've learned from my experiences. And there
yes,
are many things that I've learned in this in becoming who I am today. And one is when you know what you want, when you know what you want to become, when you set your goals, you follow that path. Along with everything in life, there are going to be obstacles, but your focus has to be your mainstream. And you have to understand, first of all, that there are going to be negative people, there are going to be positive people, but your goal remains to be focused. Stay focused on your goals. And in it, do not burn any bridges. Stay positive, share
nice,
love, be as positive. The people who you keep around you must inspire you to be the better of you, and that is your choice when it comes to choosing your friends and choosing your company and choosing who you have around you is something important. Who I always say, so I can count my closest people to me in my fingers right now. And I'm not saying don't have any friends or anything. You one would have to know. Also, I would like to say some people, some of the young people growing up are not able to take criticism. And I think criticism starts with yourself. If you tell yourself that, if your mentality is, hey, I could do this real good and I am the best at this and I am number one and I am this big thing, then you're never going to be able to accept someone telling you something, giving you a constructive criticism. So there you have to find with yourself now. You have to build that relationship with yourself where you're able to know your strong points, you're able to know your weak points, and you're able to know what you need to work on, what you need to better yourself on. And you build that relationship with yourself like I have done. I have built a relationship with Bollywood, Indian Bollywood music, because that's my forte. And I knew to myself that this is what I can do best. And I've each and every time I learn something every day. And I never tell myself that, hey, I finished learning and there's nothing I can learn anymore. So I am open to learning something and to bettering myself and to bettering my music each and every moment I get. And only then you can accept constructive criticism from people.
Wow.
that's
I hear stay positive, accept constructive criticism. I hear a lot of great advice, Savita. You know, what I love about this show is having musical artists. We not only get to hear them, their talent, like you and Ki and a lot of the other guys that I've had on the show, but you guys are human beings that have very strong messages, a lot of positivity, and a lot of advice for young people, for artists that are out there that are looking to build themselves. I hear a lot of very strong messages, and you're gorgeous, you're talented, but you have, I feel, that personality, that human aspect to you that is beyond a lot of things that we as human beings sometimes we tend to forget, right? So thank you for that reminder. If you guys are listening, she deserves some heart for that, some love, guys. Yes,
And thank you
Ramona.
to Shamiza for this platform, because sometimes, people see us on the stage mostly. They
Right.
see us in the glitz and the glamour and the light, and they sometimes judge us and they say, "Oh, she doesn't look approachable. Or she doesn't look like we can talk to her." I mean, people who talk to me today, and when they get the first opportunity to talk to me, they would tell me, they would say, "Savita, I didn't think you was this cool," and I would think to myself, "You see, it just people judge you, and then." It's not good. It's not good to do that sometimes, because you never really know. We are human beings. We are walking around with a lot of scars as well. We are, in fact, when someone messaged me and say, "No, use the star, use the this, use the that," I'm like, "No, tell me. I'm sure that there is something you can do that I cannot do, and that also makes you a star."
Speaking of stars, Savita, I want to touch on your music videos. You're always stunning in your videos. You have the perfect hair, makeup, accessories, outfits. Um, do you have any say in this, or is it your vision or someone else who comes up with the ideas for your videos?
Okay, so recently I've joined with my team, and we call ourselves the SS Glam Squad.
Wow.
They
Okay.
consist of Rajendra Sahadev, RSD Designs. You can check him out. He
Right.
has some of the most unique pieces. In fact, he creates every piece I wear now. He
Yes.
creates them for me. And all the pieces that he have created so far, people have bought them, and I'm really, really thankful for that. I'm really thankful that he's doing well, and that he's I'm able to help him as much as he helps me look
Right.
beautiful. So RSD Designs, Rajendra Sahadev, he does most of my designs home. There's also Lana, that's Makeup Art by Lana. You can check out her Instagram page, and she just reinvents my face.
But you're naturally pretty, so I'm sure she doesn't have to do a lot for you because you're
And
just
today's her birthday.
so
So I
happy
want to say
Birthday.
happy
birthday.
birthday,
Happy
Lana.
birthday to you.
Yeah, so
Sing
right
her.
after this,
Savita, sing her a happy birthday song.
I did though, but we're gonna sing it.
Yes.
बार बार दिन ये आए, बार बार दिल ये आए, तुझे हजारों साल ये मेरी है आरज़ू. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lana. Happy birthday to you. So
Well
yeah,
done.
we're gonna touch base right after this call though, because I promised her that we're gonna do a video and we're gonna take a little drink with her tonight. Virtually. I won't get to
Perfect.
celebrate with her, but she knows that I love her and I appreciate her. And
Perfect.
I get my hair done,
Here.
which I don't really comb every day. People don't know that. Pretend you didn't hear that. But Larry Desmond, he does my hair, and you can check him out. He has a Facebook page. It goes by She's Hair, and he does some, as you all can see, amazing job. So these guys, the SS Glam Squad, they are amazing to me, and I love them, and I appreciate them so very much.
Perfect.
And they can become your team too. Everyone who's listening, I always say that they can become your team too. They do everything. They have you covered: hair, clothes, makeup. What else you want, ladies? Hey, guys too, eh?
Exactly. Whoever you are, if you need it, there is someone there who can help you with it. So just get in contact with Savita. Savita, can you share this on Get Real with Shameeza page so we can
Yeah.
have contact information for all of those guys? Because after seeing you in all these videos that I've shared, uh, and I'm going to share more of them, we will need some of that.
Sure, I will. I will,
So,
Shamiza.
what is next for you, Savita?
Like I have so many things that I'm working on, and I am super excited to share them with you. However, I like surprises, so
Yeah.
I'd like to think that you all like surprises too. So I would keep it as a surprise, but I I would I would want you all to know that I've been doing a lot of music. I've been trying my very very best to maintain. I think there's a wave now for me, and I'm trying to ride that wave because I don't want that wave to pass me because maybe I'll never just get it again. So expect a lot of great things, a lot of good music, a lot of good, great, great things coming from me, Shamiza.
Perfect. We don't want that wave to pass because we want to
Yeah.
see more of you. We want to hear more of you. And so, before you leave us here tonight, Savita, can you give us something, anything, one of your favorite
You
songs?
now
Give us
there are
something.
many many favorites. It would be
I
easier if this his name is George.
George,
George
Yes.
or Shamiza. You tell me. If I know it, I'll say pass.
Lego Minaraja.
Okay, so
You
we'll do
you
one
can
for
ask
Shamiza and
me.
one for George, right? I'll do Lego Raja
Lego
acapella.
Raja.
Was Ahmed.
Here, do you want to get the
I'm trying to
music ready? I'll
remember.
get some love to come your way. Guys, we need some love before the song can get going. So if you want to hear her perform Raja, please send some love. I see the love starting to come.
Great,
Fire
great.
emojis, whatever you're comfortable with. We this Savita deserves some love right now, guys. So send her some love, and she's gonna do a performance for you. We'll,
Good.
we'll wait until we get a few of those
Okay. Tell me
parts.
when we were getting. I'm
Here
excited
we
to
go.
read
Here we
these
go.
comments after. So
Ramona Ramdeen, thank you so much.
Ramona is every time I go live, she's one of my really, really
Biggest
great
fan?
supporters. Yeah.
Oh,
So
thank you, Ramona.
yeah. So Ramona, thank you so very much, sweetheart.
Tausif was on last week. He's our musical guest, and he said, Tausif, I don't know if I should share this, but you said it. So Tausif said that his one of the people that he would love to perform with will be you. So
Uh,
Savita, I said to him, I can make things happen.
yeah.
I can make things happen. So with you here tonight and Tausif sending us some love, I can make things happen. We'll talk
Yeah.
after the show.
Definitely.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, guys. I feel like I feel the love now, Savita. Do you feel the love?
Yeah. Of course, I'm always feeling the love.
Mm.
Perfect. Let's go ahead whenever you're ready.
Roses are red, my love, and violets are blue. Roses are red, my love, and violets are blue. Sugar is sweet, my love, but not sweeter than you. Legumina raja, legumi lemiko. Mina wami husband and family to know. Raja, 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 legumi lemiko. Minawami husband and family to know.
That's
Yes.
awesome.
Thank you
Wow.
guys.
Wow.
Awesome.
Tausif says, "Thank you, Shamiza Ali. You're the best." Savita, it was truly an honor to have you here this evening. I can't thank you enough. You were my first female musical artist, and I'm truly honored to have you. Please feel free to come back at any time, share with us what you have next, share with us your music. I'm looking forward to seeing you.
Yes.
So, thank you so much. Good luck with everything that you're doing, and I can't thank you enough. George,
Thank
any
you,
final?
Shamiza, for having me. It was my pleasure. I I think this platform is really nice. A real talk. I like the theme of it, and I wish you all the very best. I hope
Thank
that
you.
that there are many more female artists that you're gonna interview,
Yes, I look forward to.
and I wish you all the best. And again, to everyone listening, wherever you are, stay blessed, stay safe, and I love you, and I send my love through music to you.
Perfect. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Wow, George.
Wow.
Great
Well,
show. I'm truly blessed and honored to have this opportunity. I feel tonight's show gave me two of the things that I wanted to bring to Get Real with Shamiza. uh, I wanted to bring awareness, and bringing awareness of the LGBTQ community is one of the best things that I've done so far for me. I feel accomplished that I was able to bring this, and to have a female artist, as like Savita, who is so humble, someone who's so simple, and someone who is so accomplished, is truly an honor. So
Yeah.
I thank all of them for being here. George, I thank you for being here. Next week we bring you a story of beauty with a purpose. Amber Lowe of Babe Cave Guyana saw a need for women to sell their products in a safe and protected environment, so she found a way to make it possible. By now, I think we should. Here we go. This is our flyer for next week, guys. So Amber brought a safe place for women to sell their products. I'm also excited to listen and get to know my musical guest next week, Neval Chait Lal. I'm excited to hear about his journey and how he came to where he is right now in life. And truly, truly blessed to be able to bring all these amazing people to Get Real with Shamiza. George, thank you so much. Tonight's message on Get Real with Shamiza was loud and clear. It is love is love. We have a right to be who we are born to be, and no one should ever try to take that away from us. As a community, let us join together and accept each other, regardless of our differences. I urge everyone to find ways to educate and enhance your knowledge of the LGBTQ community so you can empower yourself and your loved ones to be more accepting and understanding. Let us make this world a better place for future generations. As your host, it is my pleasure spending this time with you. Until next time, good night, stay real. I love you guys so much. George, thank you. Good night.